going on, Lumineers? My name is Nerdstrom. Today I will be playing against myself. As you can see, this is a little bit different from my normal common setup right now, because as you can see, I've got one deck, but I have no decks right here. Now, this is a special kind of episode that I want to show called it's a segment that I call it is it sleeve worthy. So as you can see, I've got a deck right over here on this left side. Um, this is a deck that I created just a couple of days ago. Just put it together. It is inspired by the Jakxshadows Kiwi Birds variant of the blue steel deck. Most of it is pretty much the same thing as the deck build that they do, but at the same time, because there are certain cards I do not have either enough of, or they don't are not in my possession. I had to kind of work with what I had, and so as a result, there is a little bit of spice to be had on this deck. But yeah, and as you can see here too, the reason why I call it why this segment is called "Is It Sleeve Worthy" is because as you can see, the deck itself, it has sleeves on it. However, it is all clear sleeves. And if you guys know anything about competitive play, or at least sanctioned competitive play within Disney Lorcana, the issue with clear sleeves is that they are not sanctioned by Ravensburger or Disney Lorcana to actually be used in competitive play. And so when I say that a deck we're questioning whether or not it's sleeve worthy, we are trying to find out if it is actually worth putting sleeves, like actual competitive sleeves, with like colors and stuff like that, or something like that's not clear, into it. So I know that this deck is highly regarded, but when I look at this deck, I am trying to test to see if it is, first of all, competitive against bunch of different decks that are currently in the meta right now. I'm also trying to see if the deck actually also works within my own play style. And so yeah, that's the reason why we are testing this deck out, trying to see what is going to come of it. And the way this is going to work, this is going to be over several days of preparation. In order to find out if a deck is sleeve worthy, this deck has to go up against the current decks that I have as part of my 6-deck rotation that I own. These are 6 decks that I am comfortable with, that are competitive within the meta. Maybe a little bit of spice on that I choose just to fit my own play style. But in order for it to qualify as sleeve worthy within the Nerdstrom household, this deck must go up against 2 of the 6 decks, and it has to win twice. It has to win 2 out of 3 against them at least. And so that's how we're going to find out if it is. Now, this deck will not qualify as sleeve worthy if it goes through 4 decks during the time of testing, and it still doesn't win against them. Of course, this is my house. I can go ahead and do my own rules. I might veto it and say, hey, let's go ahead and do this sort of things. But I do want to be able to, since this is the first time you guys get to see is it sleeve worthy on the thing, I definitely want to see if I can get this legit. But I am very confident in this deck. Yet during set championships this last weekend, I did go up against a blue steel deck. I had just created this the night before, and I come in and I have this deck, and the guy that was playing, he starts putting down turn 1 Mickey, he starts putting down turn 2 Calhoun. I'm like, hey, on, my guy, are you playing blue steel? And I was just trying to guess on the thing, and I told, I even just to kind of get the conversation going, I was just like, dude, I totally built this deck last night, and no lie, I totally did. So in order to figure out which decks we are going to play, we are going to assign the decks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to determine this by the roll of the dice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this a couple of times in order to figure out what it is, what deck we are going to play first. And to qualify in the mat, because I just love rules so much, we're going to roll the dice. Whichever is the first number that rolls double, that is going to be the deck that we do for this first go around. So let's go ahead and find out what we're going to be playing. And I'll just keep on rolling until I hit a double. All right. Let's see. Okay, cool. So we've got double fours. All right. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to take this one out. And this is going to be an interesting situation because we are going to be playing the Elsa deck that I've got. Is one of my favorite decks, actually. It is the Hyper Aggro deck. Now, this is an Amber Amethyst variant. It is about as aggro as you can possibly go. It is just go, go, go. You just have to win and just see how it goes. Now, now, as you know, I do have new established rules within this house. In terms of like how I will do my streams. I will be playing a best 2 out of 3 game. If either side goes and wins 2-0, whether this wins 2-0 or this side wins 2-0, I will go ahead and continue to stream and we will go ahead and do another game. Because, sometimes I don't want decks. It's like sometimes I just want to play Lorcana and just really enjoy it. And I want to play a little bit more. And that's how I want to do it. And of course, with the second game, it goes to 2-0-2-0. I'll go ahead and end it there. But hopefully, I'm hoping to see if we can get a best 2 out of 3 thing, so we can kind of see the best potential out of both these decks. Now, you will have to bear with me on this journey as we go, because since this deck is, I just freshly put this out, and I got this Elsa mat ready to go. It is going to take me a minute to go ahead and shuffle, so just bear with me. This one is relatively good. I might shuffle this one a little bit. Usually, whenever I do these kind of face-off things, you kind of notice that I try to do the pre-shuffling at least for the first game beforehand. That way, we can just go ahead and get to work. But sometimes you just have to just grin and bear it and do these things. So, speaking of set championships, if you guys must know, my endeavor when it came to set championships this weekend was not fruitful in any way. In the first game, I went up north in the area that I'm at, did a set championship, and I went 1-3 and won. The one was because there was another guy who also had the same record as I did, and we just decided to both intentionally draw, and we just decided to play different decks just for fun and just play that out and just kind of make the most of it. It was a guy that I knew, and I was good friends with. I always enjoyed playing against the guys, so we decided to just have fun and just make the most out of it. Because we knew we just had rough days, and that's just how it is. Now, I personally do not consider myself a top player by any means. In my experience in card games, I've only ever touched Pokemon at a very early age. Same with Magic the Gathering. Hell, when I started playing Magic the Gathering, it was well before Planeswalkers were ever introduced, and that's kind of my experience in that sort of thing. And even then, I wasn't really all that competitive. The only other competitive game that I ever played, like in terms of like actual like sanctioned competition, was Yu-Gi-Oh! And even then, that wasn't that long. I got taken out pretty easily in local competitions, and I just kind of gave up on that because I knew I just wasn't good enough. But at the same time, this game is one of the games that I kind of got into really easy. It's a deck it's a game that's really easy to learn, but pretty difficult to master, at least in my opinion. Probably people that are a bit more of experienced in this in these sort of trading card games probably don't think the same way. But yeah. Now you're also going to notice. You're also going to know that these are the. This is also the first time that I've been playing this deck. Save for the night yesterday, the night before, on my own time, I went ahead and play tested it against kind of like a scrub deck, just to kind of like get its bearings, maybe kind of learn a little bit about the mechanics on there. But other than that, this is only the second time that I've actually operated using this Sapphire Steel deck. From what I can gather in my own experience playing this blind, I am kind of under the impression that this is a deck that really likes to use the benefit of challenging while protecting its own characters and kind of building up the board while you take down other characters, gaining lore in the process. This is why Calhoun is really important in this deck. Robin Hood is really good and important in this deck. Using Baymax to kind of heal your characters is really important, which I definitely need another one in this deck because I only have one. I want to try to make the most of it, but I do also have a couple of bits of spice in this deck just to see if I can protect my characters as best as I can, and hopefully maybe in one of these games I'll be able to show what the end result of that spice is going to be. Now, what I'm really hoping for is that in order to kind of like showcase this deck, I am definitely hoping that this deck gets to go first in terms of dice roll. Because I mean, you never want to up against a hyper aggro deck. You definitely never want to go second in that situation, unless of course you have stuff that can counter it. I just realized something that's actually kind of important. My hyper aggro does not have any daisies, and the reason why I don't have any daisies in that is because I took them out of the deck and put them in my Steel Song deck for set championships. And considering the commentary that I have involving that, you could probably guess how that went. It did not go that well. So I can take these ones out. Go ahead and put these ones in. I know exactly which cards I'm removing from the Hyper Aggro deck in order to replace it. So it's not going to be. Hopefully, it's not going to be too rough of a transition. It goes to show just how prepared I am as a player. I always try to make the most out of like the time that I do have, and I always appreciate the fact that you guys are spending time with me and playtesting and training myself to become as good of a Lorcana player as I can possibly be. So let's see. This is basically a short-term solution until I can get possession of more daisies. But it just seems that daisies, like, everyone's just kind of holding on to them, and that is just the way it is in those cases. I understand that most people are usually pretty comfortable going on things like TCG Player and buying cards from there. And I'm not saying in any way that TCG Player is not a reputable company. That's for other people to go ahead and decide on those sort of things. But as for me, I am not really that big of a fan of ordering cards, especially singles online, only because for me I can get a little bit carried away with picking decks and kind of selecting cards and just kind of getting carried away with the amount of cards that I end up picking up, and it can be kind of rough. And so this is the reason why, for the most part, if I don't have the cards I need to make the deck, I just won't make the deck. Maybe I'll put a little bit of spice in there just to kind of fill in the role until I can get some more cards, or maybe I'm just waiting until like one of my local game stores is selling singles. But generally, I try to stay off of playing cards, of buying cards, unless they are in my face, right, and readily available for me to actually play. So that unfortunately does mean that, because I'm going to try to make this as random as I can, but overall might be an unpredictable kind of situation. But in my opinion, when it comes to Amber Amethyst, this is what makes the deck go, is Daisy Duck. It's one of the best Amber cards that is out there. I think a lot of Amber players would agree with me on this sort of thing. It takes a lot to get rid of it, and you don't want to let it sit over there because it'll still gain you cards. Now, in my experience with when I was playing against the Blue Steel player at such championships, one thing I did kind of come across as an issue playing against Blue Steel was that you definitely do not want to go into a situation where you have to like quest and then like give them characters. That was another issue that I had against another hyper aggro player that I was playing against in Steel Song. He had Daisy, and I had Daisy, and I wanted to gain some lore, but then I realized, oh snap, you're giving just characters away to this hyper aggro player, and you're just making it for the benefit of the guy, and that was kind of tough. So actually, let's do that. Okay, cool. So I'll make it a little bit more shuffled. Sorry. Okay, I know you guys think that this shuffling is super riveting. That's okay. Let's see what's next. Two. There we go. Okay. Don't worry, we'll start playing soon. Yeah, both these decks are, at least in my observation, are very character focused. There's not at least in the proper version of Kiwi Birds, there aren't a whole bunch of things like songs to kind of take advantage of. There's very few actions, and mostly it's just like supplemental suppression. Things like Fire the Cannons and Ba-Boom. And in my case, I've got some smashes in here because of some setbacks that I have in terms of like how many cards I do carry. But other than that, deck pretty much operates as normal. Except I do have a bit of spice to put on this deck, and I'm really excited to show that. And I've got somebody on here. Can I see the chat? Let me see the chat. Or more. No, don't do that. What's up, one person that is watching? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. I need to know how to get these. Where is the chat? Just so you guys know, I am watching it on my phone, and it's really to see this thing. I'm trying. Oh, what's up, Josh? How's it going, man? Thank you for joining us. Joining me, because I'm playing against myself. All right, so you came in at a good time. I am here playing, just so you guys remember, I'm playing Blue Steel right over here. I'm playing Hyper Aggro Amber Amethyst over on this side. This is great. It's two character-driven decks that are going to be playing up against each other. I'm going to do whatever I can to suppress this deck while building up my own resources. And the key thing to remember on this in terms of the storyline is that this deck right now currently has clear sleeves on there, which are not sanctioned by Disney Lorcana or by Ravensburger in competition. But I am looking to see if this deck is in fact sleeve worthy. And if this deck runs the gauntlet and beats at least 2 of the current 6 decks that I own as part of my normal rotation, it will be considered sleeve worthy, and we'll be looking forward to seeing this deck in future videos in the future. So let's go ahead and see who is going to go first. So let's go and start with Blue Steel. Blue Steel runs 10. That's a pretty good number, especially going up against Hyper Aggro. Let's see what we got here. 7. All right, that is the first hurdle for Blue Steel taken care of. So this has the top thing. It is going to go first. And that does mean that, as a result, I will go ahead and first look at Hyper Aggro for the draw first. And we'll see where we go from there. Okay. This actually is a very good combination. This is actually pretty solid. I think this deck might have, at least in my first impressions of this deck might have some issues going forward. We'll see where we go. All right, so I'm going to start off with 4. Now, in the current meta, a lot of people write off Hyper Aggro being, got 7 decks right there, being a, they kind of write off Hyper Aggro as like this deck that's like kind of an off meta. It's kind of a rogue deck. Nobody really kind of takes it too seriously. If you look at competition in like things like DLC, like the Disney Lorcana Challenge, there's not a lot of Amber Amethyst representation that's inside of there. And I understand when you have to go 9 rounds of Swiss trying to make sure you have God Hand every single time, it's very hard to do this, and especially in doing it and winning 2-0. It's very hard to do that sort of thing. But what's interesting is in my own private house championship things that I do at home, which you're gonna start seeing during the off season, in between the end of sanctioned Disney Lorcana set championships and when a new set's going to come out. I'm going to start making this trend of deciding who is going to be the house champion here at the Nerdstrom household. And so yeah, Hyper Aggro, interestingly enough, has been one of the most successful decks amongst all these other decks within the context of the house. And I wouldn't write it off personally. It's a deck that I never really feel confident doing in sanctioned competition. However, at least in the house, I know the potential of it, and I would always advocate it as best as I can. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and shuffle Blue Steel, or not shuffle Blue Steel. Let's go ahead and draw Blue Steel, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, 4 and 3. Now, I am gonna try to do my best to look at chat in between games, and if I know there's going to be long periods of shuffling to talk. Right now I'm on a mobile screen and I cannot see anybody's reactions right now, with the exception of ones where like if I'm looking straight at the screen, it'll pop up as it goes on there. And I do want to make sure that any viewers that are watching, I want to make sure that they're recognized. I'm thankful that you guys are here joining us. And whether or not you are a casual watcher or if you guys are veterans of Lorcana, I would love to have you guys like and share and get the word out that Nerdstrom is playing against himself and he wants to see a couple of new friends to come and join me. So, shoot. Did I? I did, yeah. I went a little bit too early about the thing. Sorry. It's the beauty of making my own channel. I can kind of do things however I want to. All right. So I am going to start by sending back 4 cards, and we're going to deal 4, and we're going to go ahead and shuffle. Generally, the process that I do to just make it for the sake of consistency is I do try to go 10 shuffles like this, and then a cut, and just call it good from there. For decks that I freshly just created, I do try to like pregame by doing at least 100 different shuffles, 100 shuffles of a thing. I'll do this like 10 times. I'll pile shuffle like 10 times, and then see where we go from there. But yeah, that's generally kind of like the gist of what I normally do. And if I talk incessantly, you'll just notice that I'm shuffling, and that is just the way things go. Let me just go ahead and grab some water, and we'll go ahead and get started. Blue Steel is going to start off. This is brought to you by water. Drink more water, guys. All right. So, to start off, I am going to... I don't want to ink this, but I have to. All right. I'm going to ink Strength of Raging Fire. And I am going to play I'm gonna pass turn. Okay. Now this hand, yeah. I got, oh my gosh, I don't really see how this deck is gonna. I don't see how this deck can possibly lose against this one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. I am going to ink the snake, and I am going to play Daisy. Now, and we'll see where we go from there. Ready, set, draw. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to ink John Silver. I am going to, let's see. I am going to spend two to Boom Daisy, and it's going to take 2. I am going to quest for 1, and I will pass turn. Okay, so we're leading at 1-0 over on this side. I'm going to go ahead and draw for turn. Yeah, the narrative is still the same. I'm going to go ahead and ink Lilo. We're just going to go in with all cylinders right here. I'm going to spend 1 and 1, another Daisy, and I'm going to also add a Lilo to the mix. I'm going to quest for 2. So now it's 2-1. Daisy triggers, reveal the top card. If it's a character card, I get blue steel gets put in his hand. And it is a Gantu, so that is definitely mine. I will take that. And I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. Okay, let's go ahead and draw for turn. Okay, I am going to ink that Gantu. I'm going to challenge Daisy, and I'm going to take this one out. Okay. I will take 1 damage on this side. And let's see. I'm going to spend 1 for Mickey, and I am going to spend 2 to Baboom. Actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and Baboom this Daisy, so it takes 2 damage. And I will go ahead and pass turn. If you know anything about the narrative with Hyper Aggro, you know that by about turn 3, you're going to want to put a bodyguard down, ideally. But that might be... But now that this is here, maybe it might be a little bit harder. We'll see. I am going to ink Chernobog's Followers, and I am going to spend 3 for Blue. Now, Blue has Bodyguard, and when his character is banished, I gain 2 lore. I'm going to go ahead and quest for 4 to 6 over on this side. Daisy is going to trigger, and it's going to be a Pete. I don't know how Pete is going to be important in that deck against this deck because it's very character driven. But in a lot of other situations, it's actually pretty nice, honestly. So this is going to pass turn. I'm going to go ahead and ready, set, and draw. Okay, let's see. I've got an interesting situation at hand. I'm going to ink Pete. I'm going to spend... I'm going to spend 3 for Alice. Alice is a savvy sailor. It's got ward. Its strength is 1, willpower is 4. It quests for 2. It's a 3-cost uninkable. It's got the power of Ahoy. Whenever this character quests, another chosen character of yours gets +1, gains 1 lore when he quests, and gains ward until the start of my next turn. I'm not necessarily concerned too much about ward, but I am concerned about making sure that all these cards can be effective against this hyper aggro deck. Now, what I am going to do is I won't lose any health on this thing, and I know if I do this, it's going to hit lore, but I am going to smack both Robin Hood and Mickey Mouse against this 3 willpower blue. It's going to get taken out. I have to do this because in order for me to beat Bodyguard, I have to take this one out and just hope that he doesn't have another Bodyguard at him. So, Hyper Aggro is going to gain 2 more lore. And we are going to... Oh man, I wish I could have another 1-drop. It would be cool if it did. But I unfortunately have to pass. Pass turn. And I also still wish I could get some big Robin Hoods out there because, like, man. Alright. Turn. Oh man, you love to see this. Alright, I'm gonna Amethyst Chromacon, spend 1 for Lilo, and I'm gonna spend 3. This time for Donald Duck, who's also a bodyguard. When you play this character, a chosen character gets +1, can get +1 quest for lore. And I'm gonna go ahead and add this to Lilo, who is then gonna quest along with Daisy for 5 to 13. Daisy is gonna trigger. It's gonna be another small Robin Hood, but I am gonna take that. We're gonna see where we go from there, all right? Okay. This is an interesting predicament. Okay. Let's see if we can get out of this. All right, come on, Blue Steel. Come on, Zoolander. Let's go ahead and see what we can do about this. Okay. I am going to draw for turn. Okay. I think I should be okay. So, I am going to ink Small Robin Hood. And I am going to shift Robin Hood. It's Big Robin Hood, who is now a 3/6. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, I gain 2 lore. Now, what I am going to do is... So, Alice is going to sing Strength of a Raging Fire on Donald Duck. Deal damage to chosen character equal to the number of characters I have in play. I got 3. That's got 3 willpower. This is going to go away. I am going to smack Daisy Duck for 3. It's already got 2 damage counters, so it should get taken out. I will take 1 more damage, but I will also gain 2 lore. And then Mickey is going to hit Lilo for 1, resist 1. It doesn't take any damage. And we should be good as gold, just like that. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. So, don't call it a comeback. Let's see where we go from here. I'm going to draw for turn. Oh, that's right. Do I have a... No, I inked the Lilo. Dang, okay. I'm going to spend 2 for Lilo, and I'm going to spend 3 for Piglet. Let's see. I'm going to pass turn. Yeah, I'm going to pass turn. Let's see where we go from here. Now, the reason why Hyper Aggro is passing turn is because Piglet has an effect where While you have 2 or more other characters in play, this character gets +3 conquest for 2 more lore. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 13 gets 20. So that is the situation that I'm currently in as a blue steel player. We're going to see where we go from there, all right? So it's going to be a hard little card situation. We're going to try it out, okay? We're going to drop her. And just know that that is the thing I'm trying to get rid of, okay? And then I'm hoping, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ink John Silver, okay? I'm going to start by paying 3, and I'm going to smash Piglet, okay? And that deals 3 damage to chosen character, so it just takes that away. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Doc by paying 2 and playing it. And I'm going to draw, I discard my hand to draw 2 cards. I don't have a hand, so I'm just going ahead and draw 2 cards. Oh, that is not what I wanted to see. Crap. Okay. I think I might be okay for this next turn, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and ink, play 1 for another Mickey, another resist 1, and I am going to quest for 2. This adds 1 lore to this guy, to Mickey, and it also gains a ward until the start of my next turn, so I'm going to give that to Mickey. Quest for 2 and 4. 3, 4, to go to 9. And I'm going to pass turn. I think for this next turn I might be okay for the most part, but we'll see where we go from there. Honestly, the Piglet was a big obstacle, and I'm glad I got exactly what I needed on that side. But let's see what Hyper Aggro does here. Okay, I'm going to draw off turn. I am going to be short. Draw off a turn. Let's see. Do I have... What do I have on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and quest for 4 to 17 on this side. If they survive, I win. If they don't, then... Actually, no, I think there's only... No, these 2 should both go, but if I quest these 2 and then hopefully get like a goat or something like that, I think maybe I can... Maybe Hyper Aggro will still pull this off. Okay. I'm going to pass turn on here. We'll see where we go from here. Alright, I'm going to draw for turn. And that is not exactly what I wanted. But... No, this will work. Okay. I'm going to spend 3. I'm going to smash this Lilo. I am going to challenge that Lilo. Take it out. Don't take anything. I am going to attack Robin Hood. Take this one out. Take 1 more damage. That's a 3. Gain 2 lore from the interaction. And then I am going to quest for 2. I'm going to add 1 to... let's give Doc some love. So now I can quest for 2 and 3 more. 1, 2, 3. 16. And I will go ahead and pass turn. And let's see what happens. I don't think I've got enough to hit this. That is it. Got a Piglet. I can't quest. So, and even then, it'll only quest for 1. So there it is. So just like that, you see how quickly Hyper Aggro gains its it gains its characters as soon as possible, and as long as you can not hit the bodyguard, it's damn near unstoppable to beat this thing. But with a couple of savvy plays, along with being able to have some good solid board control, Blue Steel was able to get the victory on that. So there you go. We at least know that it can at least beat a hyper aggro, but we need to know if it can still consistently do this. So we'll find out if this works out. Now, for those of you guys who are veteran Lorcana players watching this stream, I would definitely love to hear your advice on what decks Blue Steel Kiwi Birds variant is good against. In my experience, playing against it, a Steel Song deck that doesn't have any resources to fight off against these sort of things could potentially fall to it, and that's kind of the experience that I got in my situation. It does take a little while to get going, but once you start getting the pieces on there too, you can eventually start tearing down the hyper aggro. It's especially good when you have big Robin Hood in play, as well as Calhoun. I didn't see Calhoun in this deck, but in this play, but I know the potential of how good that character can be against when you have to like take down other cards. So props to that. Okay. So this gains us 4. That wins. Starts. Are you able to guys see the? Are you guys able to see the live stream on there? Like, are you able to see this thing normally? If anything, I'm trying to talk through it. I can see, like, at least from my point of view, it's pretty low. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty good. How'd you guys like that first game? There we are. Okay, I see the live chat now. Cool. That was good. All right. I finally figured out how to put the live chat on there, so thanks, Josh. Okay. So I am going to... Thanks, Josh, for bearing with me. There you go. Okay. So I'm going to start by drawing for turn on this side. I am going to start by inking Pluto. And I'm going to play Mickey. And I'm going to pass turn. Mickey's such a great card. I really like that as a turn one option. If somebody has like a Fire of the Cannons or Let Storm Rage On, it can't really do much of anything. And the most strength they'll ever lose against like a song like Strength is like it's only going to have 2 characters on the thing too, and it'll still resist 1, so it'll at least take the 1 damage. So I think it's a really solid card, honestly. All right, cool. I'm going to start by, I'm going to have Madam and Fox. I'm going to ink that. And then I'm going to pay 2, and I'm going to get 2 Daisy Ducks out. All right. So, quest for 2. We are that much closer to the God Hand. Cogsworth is going to go into the deck as a result of the Daisy trigger. And I'm going to pass turn. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to draw for turn. That's not going to be relevant. Okay. Okay. Let's do... I will ink John Silver. And I am going to spend 2. I'm going to take a risk here. And I'm going to spend 2 for Mr. Smee. And why not? I'm going to go ahead and quest 4, 1, and I will pass turn. Alright, draw for turn. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. I'm going to ink Piglet. The God Hand is complete, just like that. So blue is going to be in Bodyguard. If it's banished, it gains 2 lore. I'm going to go ahead and quest 4, 6 to 8. And Daisy Trigger is going to happen 3 times. 1, Robin Hood. 2, Pete. And 3, Baymax. Oh my gosh. So many cards. I don't even know if I can do anything with those. Okay. Pass turn. Now, you can probably understand why I put Baymax, or Mr. Smee, out early. And it is because, I'm just going to draw for turn real quick. I'm going ahead and ink Pete. And I am going to spend 1 for Robin Hood. And I'm going to pay 2 to Baboom that Daisy. So I'm going to go ahead and Baboom a Daisy, right? Make it a little bit weaker. Smee is going to go ahead and take out blue. It gains 2. Oh, sorry. And then, you know what? Why not? Let's go ahead and do I want to do that? I don't know. I want to, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and smack this Daisy for 1. It's not going to take anything because there's all that. And I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. If you guys see what's on the board, you might know what the strategy is. I am not going to tell you until it actually happens. But veteran players might know exactly what I'm trying to do. Okay. So, I am going to pay... Actually, no, I can't do that, can I? I'm going to spend 2 for Piglet, 1 for Maleficent. I'm going to go ahead and quest for 6. 6. You see how fast this is? That's crazy, dude. And I will pass turn. Okay. I'm going to draw for turn. I am going to 8 McDuck Manor. That is not what I wanted. It's definitely not what I wanted. Crap. Okay. I'm going to spend 1 for Mickey. Shoot. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 for Strength of Raging Fire. I'm going to put 4 damage on Daisy. This one, which goes away. I just realized I didn't do my triggers, did I? No. 1, 2, 3. Oh my. It doesn't change anything. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this one for 3. Take that one out. I'm going to hit that one for 2. Take this one out. And then I guess quest for 1 there. All right. Okay, so what I have done is I have taken out Piglet's trigger ability to get the 2. Obviously, if it did, if I draw another card, then I know it's over. But yeah, if it's like if it's 3 or under, I'm gonna draw for turn, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna ink Madam M. I will quest for 3. It's 19, but I also do have a Gathering Knowledge Wisdom, which gives me 2 lore. There's your win, and that is the power of Hyper Aggro. It is such an easy deck to play, and it pops off so well in a lot of cases, So, but I do still feel that you have to do a lot of things in order to make it work. In order to kind of have it be effective, super effective, and be consistent. This deck is a good deck though. Regardless, I do really enjoy playing it. So yeah. So I think as a result of this does mean that it is going to be best of 3. And sorry, it's 1 win each. It is a best of 3 thing, so we got to figure out who is going to be the winner, and we are going to figure that out with this last round. So, can Blue Steel continue on its road towards becoming sleeve worthy? Is Hyper Aggro going to be continue its reign of being the deck to beat within the house, within the Nerdstrom household? Well, we just got to shuffle these cards, draw them out, and find out, and see what happens. I did kind of expect this set to go as well as I thought it was going to be, but yeah, no, this is definitely a good learning experience in this sort of world. I'm actually really surprised I haven't drawn Calhoun yet. In that deck, and so I'm just wondering when is that going to happen. Anyway, okay, so we'll see. There's that. Go and cut. Now Blue Steel is going to go first because it did lose. That's not the reason why you do it. It's just like people have the option, but yes, I'm definitely going to go first. Definitely do not want Hyper Aggro to go first in most cases. Okay, so I am going to send back. I'm going to send back 4. 4. Take that back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is a best of 3. The stream is going to end as soon as this match is over, but don't be afraid to like and subscribe to this channel. You will be able to see this deck continue its journey as we go. I try to be as consistent as I can doing videos on Sundays and or Mondays, depending on how my own life schedule kind of goes. If I do have the time to go ahead and do bonus content, I will do bonus content. It just really comes down to whether or not I have the time to actually do it. So we'll find. Yeah. So appreciate you guys sticking out and sticking through it. And that is going to be the hand for Hyper Aggro. Meanwhile, Blue Steel is going to have this going. Oh yeah, I should have also just put these things as like a visual thing. Boom, just like that. I should put this off to the side. What would you say is like what is your favorite like off meta like ink combination that you really enjoy bringing to set champs or like to like tournaments or like even constructed tournaments. Let me know in the comments if you are out there and watching this with me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, and I'm going to go ahead and draw 7. This is for the final round. Blue Steel versus Amber Amethyst Hyper Aggro. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Nope. 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 Let's send back 4. Sometimes I just notice in these past streams that whenever I do get to the 3rd round, it just gets really focused. It is hyper focused. I'm just trying to do whatever I can to win. But I'm trying my best to talk. Trying my best to talk more in this one. So we'll see how this goes. Like sometimes I just kind of run out of stuff to talk about. And I shouldn't, because this is a stream. And I see people do streams for like 8 hours a day, just chatting randomly with people. Anyway, speaking of chat, how you guys doing? You guys enjoying yourself? Cool. Awesome. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and start this baby going. Okay. To begin, I'm going to start by inking John Silver, and I am going to play Robin Hood. And I'll pass turn. Drop a turn. I am going to start by inking Mim. And I'm going to play a Daisy. And I'm going to pass turn. Drop turn. I will ink Aurora. I'm going to spend 2 for Mr. Smee. I will quest for 1, and I will pass turn. I just realized as I was going over this side, I think I've got to play right over on this side that is going to be kind of... It's going to make this deck not as aggro, but I do like this play, kind of, given what I know what's in the hand. I'm going to ink a Diablo. I'm going to spend 1 for a Maleficent, and I'm going to spend 1 for a Befuddle, sending this Robin Hood back to the hand. I know it's not going to do anything about this Mr. Smee, but I know what's coming on this one. So I'm going to quest for 2. I'm going to reveal a character. All right. I mean, I wasn't saying it's going to predict the character is going to come up, but I'm going to reveal it and see if it's a character card or not. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. All right. I'm going to go ahead and drop a turn. And I am going to... I'm going to ink a Mickey. I am going to spend 1 for Robin Hood. And I will pay 2 for Baboom on Maleficent. And I am going to challenge Daisy, so I can take 3. I'm going to end my turn. This takes 1 damage, and I'm going to pass turn. Drop a turn. to spend 2 for Maleficent, and I'm going to ink Piglet. I'm going to go ahead and quest for 2. Go ahead and reveal a card. It's going to be a Robin Hood. Little Robin Hood. I'm going to pass turn. Okay, I'm going to draw for turn. I will ink John Silver. I'm going to spend 1 for Little Robin Hood, and I'm going to spend 3 to shift Robin Hood. I'm going to go ahead and attack. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attack this Daisy. Take it out. I take 1 damage. I'm going to gain 2 lore from banishing. I'm going to quest for 2, and I'm going to pass turn. You see that dynamic has instantly changed. The moment Hyper Aggro couldn't get at least 2 daisies in the deck, on the flop, it really makes that big of a difference. All right, I'm going to draw for turn. I'm going to ink Madam Mim. I am going to spend 3 for Donald. It's going to add 1 to Maleficent. This is going to quest for 5 to 9. And I will pass turn. Okay. So this one's supposed to take 2. So it's going to be gone at the end of this one, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, I'm going to draw for turn. Oh, you're going to love me. You're going to love me. I'm going to ink Pluto. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 to shift Robin Hood. I'm going to go ahead and have Smee take out Donald Duck. Smee's going to get taken out in the meantime. Robin Hood is going to hit Maleficent. Take 1, go to 2. Gain 2. Robin Hood is going to hit Maleficent. Take 1, excuse me. And gain 2 to 9. And I will pass turn. All right, here we go. Empty board. You'll love to see it as a blue steel player. Draw for turn. I am going to spend 3 for Donald Duck. I'm not going to use the bodyguard ability. I will pass turn. Could use a good Chromacon in that thing right now. Okay. I am going to draw for turn. I'm going to ink Pete. I will, just in case some shenanigans happen, I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 for Ploots. It is now right now it is a 5/5 because it has no damage. It's got bodyguard. I'm going to go ahead and quest 4 to 13, and I'm going to pass turn. All right. Draw for turn. I'm going to spend 1 for Chernobog's Followers. I'm going to spend 2 for Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom. Take myself to 11. I will... Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and swing Donald Duck into Pluto so they can take 2 damage. It does mean that it is now a 1. One strength character. We'll see where we go from there. I'm going to pass turn. I still got a little bit of time between now and then to see what happens. I think I do. Yeah. Still got to do a couple moves. Drop a turn. I think I've got it. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 for McDuck Manor. I'm going to quest for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think I've got this. All right. I'm going to go my pass turn. Drop a turn. There you go. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and pass Piglet. I'm going to quest for 1. Banish this one. Draw a card. 2 for Lilo. That's it. And just like that, the first victory, first match victory for Blue Steel. He goes 2-1 against Amber Amethyst, Hyper Aggro, one of the 6 decks that's part of my rotation here in the Nerdstrom household. It is now 1 match win away from becoming a sleeve-worthy deck. So stay tuned. There will be another match coming soon. I don't know when. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But it is one match away from being sleeve-worthy. And I hope you guys are looking forward to this match, because I am. I definitely can't wait to see which deck will be randomly selected to become the next opponent for it. And we'll see if it can win. But until then, Hyper Aggro is going to go back to sleep. And Blue Steel is going to take the victory. And I'm actually really glad with how this deck kind of played out. Definitely want to see what it does against more competitive decks. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed all the content that was going down over here. Until next time, thank you for coming to the Nerdstrom household, watching me play against myself. And until then, my name is Nerdstrom. And until the next time we meet, let's get nerdy.